We're going to move on to round number 1, and the color that I'm using is the copper. So as I said, I'm using Stylecraft Special DK throughout, but you can use any similar matching weight yarn. You can use cotton, you can use an Aran weight yarn, which is a number 4, or you can use a fingering weight yarn, which is the 4 ply, as long as you use a matching hook for your yarn weight, and keep in mind that the size will vary. So if you use a bigger hook, you'll have a bigger finished piece. If you use a smaller hook, you'll have a smaller finished piece. Right, so now we're going to start. So as you're just going to put a slip stitch on our hook and then chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do a magic ring as well if you prefer that, but I'm just going to do right, and then we slip stitch into that beginning chain, and then you'll chain 3 because we're going to do 12 double crochets here, right? And then chain 1, yarn over, and make sure that you work into the ring and not, so make sure you work into the ring, which is over there, and not into that chain 1 space, like that, right? So we're going to do 12 of these, 12 double crochets, 12 chain 1 spaces, right? And if I'm a little bit shaky, it's coffee. Of course, because it's still early morning and I'm very naughty. I have coffee before I have breakfast. But old habits die. What's the expression? Old habits die fast? No, slow. I'm not sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Chain 1. Don't forget that last chain 1. And then just slip stitch into that first chain 1 space. We don't have to be too fussy here, right? Snip off, and then of course I like to do that double slip knot just to close, and you can pull your circle closed and then work in the tail. Don't work in this tail because you can use the next round to work over a little bit of this tail before you work it in. Now I know a few people mentioned on our Hooks and Tails pattern workshop group that they don't work in their ends, and sort of suggested that I recommend you work in your ends as you go along. And what I mean is you don't have to work in your ends every single round, right? Because you might want to give yourself some leeway in case you make a mistake to be able to go back and frog that. So use your common sense and work in your tails every few rounds. You know, my point is don't let it build up, unless of course you don't mind sewing in tails at the end of your project. I don't mind. I like sewing. I like sewing and embroidery, so I find that very relaxing to sew in ends, but I know for some people it's very irksome. Right, so now we have 12 double crochets and 12 chain 1 spaces. So I'm going to leave you to, very, very important though, that you do work in this end and make sure that that's properly secure. Right, and then I shall see you at round number 2. See you there. Now we're on to round number 2, and round number 2 I'm going to be using this Cornish blue. As I said, I'm sort of randomly choosing colours as I go along. I haven't really planned a colourway for this this video tutorial. We'll just see how it goes. Right, so now you can begin in any chain 1 space, right? And we're just going to work. So as always, I start with that standing single crochet. We're going to be working puffs. Yarn over times 3. Right, chain 1 to close, chain 2, 1, 2 and 3. Right, okay, like that. Then we're going to chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yarn over, we're going to skip 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and into the next chain 1 space we're just going to repeat what we've just done. Now, because I'm talking and crocheting, I can't do that, although I try my best. 1, 2, 3. I'm a bit ham-fisted today. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Right. Okay. Then chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yarn over. Skip 3. 1, 2, 3. So you can see we're sort of making corners here. Chain 2, 1, 2, 3. Chain 1 to close, chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, so it looks like that. Yarn over, skip 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and into the next chain 1 space. Chain 2, yarn over, 1, 2, and 3. Crochet is so much like a dance, and that's why I use that word, Rnds. People think it means that I'm saying signorinas or signoras. So there was a bit of a debate once about sexism around the name, but it's actually Rnds is those who dance with yarn. See, I made that up because I thought we were saying 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 as we count our stitches, and it reminds me of dance steps, right? So that's why I call all of you Rnds. And as far as I know, men can also be ballerinas. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think. I'm not 100% sure. Right. And then to close, you see the little hole up at the top here of your puff. Just going to poke your hook through there and slip stitch. Fasten off. Right. Like that. So now you have a teeny weeny little square of sorts. Okay, so that is round number 2. Sorry if I go off camera. You know, I'm using my phone as a camera, and then, you know, I'm all over the place, but I am checking as I go along. Right, so that is round number 2. So you'll have 4 chain 6 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 chain 2 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so, and then of course you'll have 8 puffs, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so I shall see you at round number 3. So now we're on to round number 3, and now I'm taking a big risk with my colors. I'm going for cream, and I'll show you in our sample piece where we are. So I'm looking ahead, so we're over here, and I'm going to repeat the same color over here. So because this is called Harvest Moon, I'm thinking of cream as the moon moony color, right? So now, also I think it'll end up looking quite different, having a different feel to it than the sample piece. I still haven't decided. I'll have to finish it completely to decide which colorway I'll go with to extend this smaller square. Rightio. Nice easy peasy round. We're going to make 4 double crochets into our chain 2 and 8 double crochets into our chain 6. Right? So we can start anywhere. You don't have to start in the chain 2. We're just going to make chain 3, 1 double crochet, and then 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3. This is a little bit splitty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And as you can see, I'm working over my yarn tail. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, I'm just carrying that tail along. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right, and now you're just going to carry on like that. So you're going to work all the way around, and then I'll see you at the end of this round. We can just finish off this round together, round number 3, right? So you've gone all the way around, and then you're just going to slip stitch into your second double crochet, like so, right? And fasten off. Okay, so it's going to look like that. So you'll have 4 sections of 8 double crochets and 4 sections of 4 double crochets. And that's round number 3 done and dusted. So I shall see you at round number 4. Right, so your stitch count for the previous round, round number 3, would be 48 double crochets. Now, don't hate me, but we're going to be working into our 3rd back loop. So the color I'm using, again, I'm just grabbing, kind of randomly grabbing my colors. So this color is the dandelion, right? Okay, so what we're going to do is, you can begin anywhere actually, but I'm going to start in a section of my 8 double crochets. So when you turn your work over, you can see, sometimes it's not easy to see, but you see the little bumpy thing there, right? So that is your 3rd back loop. Okay, so this is your first loop, your front loop. This is your second loop, your back loop. And this is your 3rd back loop. Now, sorry I'm a little bit shaky, but you know, coffee before breakfast is never a good idea, right? Okay, so you just have to kind of keep your wits about you. Start where you feel confident. And it's, you know, when you, for example, if you're starting with the chain 3, you know, it might be a little bit difficult to start there. You might have to just grab, you know, any little loop here. Okay, you know, you might have to make a contingency plan. So this is our chain 3, so I'm going to just start in the next one like that. Okay, and then when I get to that end, that last, it will be the last one of this round, then we can do that one together. We can battle that out together. Right, so chain 3, and then you're just going to work double crochets like that. Just take your time. As I said before, we're not doing this as a crochet along. There's no time frame, and as you know, I never put time frames on my work because I know many of you are busy and you're also busy with other projects. And this is something you'll pick up when you feel like it, and then you can just, do a few rounds and then set it aside again and so on and so forth. You don't have to rush through it at all. At all. Okay, so you're just going to work 1 double crochet, nice and easy peasy, into those back loops, and you should end up with 48. Right, but I'm going to see you at the end of this round. It's still really early, it's not even 8 o'clock in the morning yet, and I'm going to go and have some breakfast. And then obviously feed the cats and the dogs. Miss Augusta is outside my workroom door, busy meowing to come in. Life with animals, right? Okay, so you're just going to go around like that, and then I shall see you at the end here, and then we can finish round number 4 off together. As promised, I am back to work that last stitch with you. So you're just going to have to grab a back loop there with that chain, that beginning chain 3. Right, so now we have 48 double crochets. You're going to skip the chain, and which is our first double crochet, and then just slip, oh no, and then just slip stitch. So there's our chain 3, and then just slip stitch into the second double crochet. So remember, our chain is our first double crochet. Right, so we slip stitch into the second double crochet, and then you can just go and work in your tails. Right, so 48 double crochets done and dusted. So that's round number 4, and as I said before, the color is dandelion. So I'll see you at round number 5. Oh, what I wanted to tell you was at the beginning of this part is that the square is 25 rounds. So we're going to get through this pretty quickly. Right, so I shall see you at round number 5. So our previous stitch count was again 48 double crochets. Now we're going to be using the gold, and we're on round number 5. And now we're going to be working into round number 1. So we have our 3 double crochets and our 2 chain 1 spaces, and we're going to work into the first chain 1 space, and we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a chain 5 is equal to 1 double treble, right? So we're going to yarn over 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and work. Now we're not going to close off these stitches because we're going to be making 6 of these and working them together. So we make 3 into the first chain 1 space, and then we're going to skip this double crochet and work into the next chain 1 space and make 3 double trebles. Right, then we're going to yarn over, chain 1 to close. Now throughout the pattern we're always going to use a chain 1 to close any cluster of stitches, right? So that chain 1 is not counted in the chain space. So we chain 1 to close, and then we chain, and now we're going to chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can chain between 6 or 8 depending on how your yarn behaves. So the acrylic has quite a bit of stretch, but if you're using cotton or some other types of yarn are not so stretchy, and then you have to add a few chains. Right, so I've done a chain 8, then we're going to yarn over, and now we're going to work between these 2 double crochets that we made into our chain 2 space from round number 2. So that's round number 3. We're just going to work like that at the back. 1, 2, 3. We're just going to do our usual little puff and chain 1 to close, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like that. Okay, so, and then we're just going to repeat everything that we've done, right? So well, except of course this time we don't have to make a chain. We can just yarn over times 3, find our next chain 1 space. It gets a bit fiddly. 1, 2, 3, and again, and again, and again. Skip to the next one. Skip to the next one. I mean the same one. When I say one, I mean the chain 1 space. So we have 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yarn over, pull through, chain 1, chain 6. I mean 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you're just going to carry on like that, right? So it's going to look like so. Okay, so I shall see you at the end of this round, and then we can finish off this round together. Righty-ho. And now, to finish off our round number 5, we're just going to slip stitch into that little hole at the top of our first 6 double trebles together, right, like that. Okay, snip off, and as you know, I like to do that extra tie off there so it doesn't come adrift, right? So I'm going to show you the back. So the back is going to look like that. Okay, we're just going to move those chain 8s like that to the front. So that's the back, right? Okay, and this is your front, and it looks like that. Okay, for the moment, for the moment it looks like that. And then you can also just pull those to the front like that. You know, we're going to be working into our previous to this round, so into round number 4, and then of course things will start changing. Right, so round number 5, done and dusted. See you at round number 6. Oh, should we do a stitch count? So you should have 8 times chain 8s and 4 times these little puffs and 4 times 6 double treble together, right? Okay, just check and make sure. See you at round number 6. So we're on to round number 6, and round number 6 I'm using the meadow green. Now what we want to do is work 1 double crochet into our 3rd back loop of 12 stitches, so 4 times 12 double crochets. So this is round number 4, and we're working there. So, right, so we're working in this section over here. So now the way we're going to find our 12 stitches, so the first thing you do is find that little puff that we made over here, and then you're going to just count 6 double crochets to the left and then work 6 double crochets to the right. So you'll start off over here, and then so you're counting from left to right, and then you're working from right to left. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And now we're working into that third back loop of 6 double crochets, right? So we're going to work chain 3, so 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So remember, the third back loop sits kind of on top of the back of the stitch, right? So that's where you won't find it a little bit to the right, but like it's directly underneath or behind the 2 strands of your stitch. Okay, so we just check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to yarn over and work again another 6 double crochets. 1, 2, it's a bit laborious, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? Okay, so now you have 12 double crochets. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then we're going to chain 1, and you're going to work a double crochet front post over your 6 double trebles together like that, and then chain 1, and then you're going to repeat everything that I've just done. Okay, so you'll do another 12 double crochets, double crochet front post, 12 double crochets, double crochet front post, 12 double crochets, double crochet front post, and that's where I'll meet you, and then we can finish off this round together. Okay, so see you at the end of round number 6. Right, so just making that, so I've made that last double crochet. So now I have 4 sets of 12 double crochets made into the third back loop. Chain 1, yarn over, work that last double crochet front post, chain 1. So remember, you should have 8 chain 1 spaces, 4 double crochet front posts, 4 sets of 12 double crochets, which is 48. Right, so we're going to just slip stitch into our second double crochet, like so, after making the last chain 1 space, right? So I'm saying the first because it's the first one before our double crochets. Right, so you can see how we are slowly working our pattern so that it becomes a circle. Okay, right, so you can just go ahead and work in your tails if you want to, right? Just make sure that your stitch count is accurate. And that is the end of round number 6, and I shall see you at round number 7. And so far so good. I'm sort of happy with my colors. So I shall see you at round number 7. We are on to round number 7, and I'm just going to show you where we're going now. So we're going to be working those double trebles, right? 3 of them together like that. So we're working that section, and I'm going to, you can change up your colors. You don't have to use the same colors here. I am, but if you want to go very colourful, you can use different colours for this section. So what we're going to do is we are going to make a chain 5, which is equal to 1 double treble, into our first double treble of our 6 double trebles together. Right. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yarn over times 3, chain 1 to close, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, right? And then into that same double treble, we're going to do exactly the same. We're going to make 3 double trebles together. That's 1, 2, 3, oopsie, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through, chain 1 to close, right? And then we're going to chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we have a dog walker. He comes twice a week to take the girls, so he's just arrived, and you can hear they went absolutely bananas. They love him to bits. So, right, so we're going to make a chain 3, and then we're going to do exactly what we did on the, you can hear how excited they are. And now we're going to skip 4 double trebles together, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then into the last one. So we're basically working into the first one and the last double treble of our 6 double trebles together, right? And then again 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, chain 1 to close, 1, 2, 3, and then again another one, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through, right? So that's what we're going to be doing. So it's going to look like that. Okay, now we're going to chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you're going to repeat everything that we did here. Okay, so you're going to work into those 3 times 6 double trebles together, so you're going to end up with 4, 8, 12, 16 times 3 double trebles together, right? And you're going to end up with, so we have 3 chain 3s, 1, 2, 3, so we have 3, 6, 9, 12 chain 3 spaces, and then we have 4 chain 6s, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right, but I'll see you at the end of this round, which is round number 7. We can just finish off this round together and then just check that your stitch count is correct. Okay, so that is round number 7, and I'll see you soon. Right, so your round 7 is going to look like that so far. So we're creating these layers. This isn't really overlay crochet. With overlay crochet, what the method then is to work into the back loop, and then you work all of your stitches in the front. So you work your stitches in the front loop, and then there's nothing like this behind. So I'm sort of doing something in between. So it's maybe layered crochet, or what's known as 3D crochet, right? So, and a lot of it, well, I have, I don't know anyone else who designs like me, so I sort of make up my own tricks and things like that, which of course I pass on to all of you. Right, so we've made our chain 6, and then you're just going to slip stitch into the top of your beginning 3 double trebles together like that. Okay, and then fasten off, and voila, you are done and dusted. Right, so that's how things are looking at the moment. Okay, so round number 7, and I shall see you at round number 8. We're on to round number 8, and round number 8 we are going to be working with our blush, right? So this is the color I'm using, blush. Now, with round number 8, I'm just going to show you with the sample piece. This is what we're going to be doing, right? We're going to be making those sets of 3 popcorns, and I'm going to show you exactly how. Right, so let's begin. So now to explain how we're going to do the counting. Right, so what you're going to do is find your little section of 4 times 3 double trebles together, right? So like that. And then where you have your second chain 3 space, if you just open up your stitches a bit like that, you can see the double crochet front post and your 2 chain 1 spaces to the left and the right. Okay, so what we're going to do is count. So here is your chain 1 space. We're going to count 3 double crochets to the right. So this is round number 6, right? So 1, 2, 3. Now what we want to do is, here's our first chain 3 space between our first 2 times 3 double trebles together. We're just going to pull that space to the front, and we're going to leave the chain 3 at the back. And into this space, we're going to work 3 popcorns and 2 chain 1 spaces. Right, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, right, so that's 1 popcorn done and dusted. We're going to chain 1 to close, chain 1, and then again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right, make our little popcorn, chain 1 to close, chain 1, and then the last of the 3 in this set, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, make our little popcorn. Right, so now we have our 3 popcorns and our 2 chain 1 spaces. We've closed our last popcorn with the chain 1. Now we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, so we have a chain 6, and then we're going to go back to, so now we're working on the wrong side, and we're going to work a single crochet into our chain 8 space from round number 5 chain 1, single crochet. And that's basically how we're going to bridge over to the next section. Right, so we've got single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, and that brings us over to this section over here. So we're going to do exactly the same thing. There's our double crochet front post. Here's our chain 1. We're going to count this time from right to left. 1, 2, 3. And we're just going to pull that space to the front like that. So we have our chain 3 at the back. And then we're going to do exactly the same. I'm losing my voice a bit. 3, 4 and 5, right? And just going to make our little popcorn. I just want to do this whole section with you because then I will leave you there after I've done this, and then you can do the rest by yourself. Oh, sorry, I'm getting a bit croaky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so now we have our second little popcorn. Chain 1 to close, chain 1. And then the last one of this, whoopsie, the last one of this little section. It's a bit of a crochet acrobatics there, because you don't want to work over your chain 3 from the previous round. So that's 4 and 5. Ta-da! Right, chain 1 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Right, so I'm just going to show you that section. So that's going to look like that, and your back is going to look like that, and you can actually move these closer to that to the top of your 6 double trebles together. Right, I got that right. Okay, so now we're going to, again, we're just going to attach this little section with a single crochet into that chain 8 space, chain 1, single crochet, right, chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, and now you're just going to repeat everything that I've done. So now that I'm looking at everything, I'm not so sure about that blue. It looks very, very strong, so I'm going to have to balance it out with something surprising. Even I'll be surprised. Right, so as I said, that's your back. Your back's going to look like that. Okay. And then you'll end up with 3, 6, 9, 12, and then another 12. So that's 24 times popcorns, right? And then you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 chain 1 spaces. And then you'll have 12 chain 6 spaces. No. 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 chain 6 spaces, and you'll have 8 single crochets. But that'll all be written up in the written pattern if you want to check the stitches. Right. So I shall see you at the end of round number 8. We'll finish this round off together before we go on to round number 9. Right. Well, I almost missed showing you this part. Right. So let me just go back. So where we made our chain 6, 1 single crochet, chain 1, 1 single crochet, chain 6, okay, we're going to have 4 sections of that. But this section over here, where we had our chain 6 space from our previous round, we're just going to make a chain 6, right? And then we're going to repeat everything that we just did, right? So I'm just going to do this one more time with you. I'd actually just turned off the camera. I was like, oopsie, hang on a second there. So I'm just going to finish this section, these three here, and then just show you the difference at the back. 3, 4, 5, because at some point we are actually working into these chain spaces, so it's very important that you know this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? And then we work into those chain 8 spaces again as we did before. And then chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I can show you. Right. Okay, so you're going to have 4 sections that look like this. Okay. And then you're going to have 4 chain 6 spaces, just like that. Okay. So that's going to change the stitch count, but just check the stitch count in the written pattern. Okay, but we're going to finish this. So I'll finish this off and then I'll meet you back at the end of this round, and then I'll just show you the back again so that you're 100% certain how it's supposed to look. Right. Okie dokie. So now I'll see you there. So it's going to look like that. Okay. So I've made my last chain 6, and then we're just going to close off by making a slip stitch into the top of the first popcorn. When I say into the top, I mean over the closing space of the popcorn. Right. So now it's going to look, now that blue is really bothering me, but I don't feel like going back and changing everything. So that's what happens when you're just doing a colorway on the fly. But it might work out. I might be able to balance it off somewhere else. Right. So what we have is 24, as I did a stitch count before, but I'm going to do it again. So we have 24 times puffs, 24 puffs, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 chain 6s like this. So where you just have that single chain. So we have those 4 chain 6s, and then we have these chain 6s. So 2, 4, 6, 8, right? So those. So we have 12 times chain 6 spaces, and then we have 2, 4, 6, 8 single crochets, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 chain 1 spaces. Right, and then of course we have our chain 1 spaces between our popcorns. So again, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 24. How many do we have? 2, 4, yes, 4, 8, 12, 16. I can't count. When it gets to this time in the day, it's now, let's see, almost 2:30 in the afternoon, and I've been at this since 8 o'clock this morning. It takes forever, but there's lots of disturbances in between. For example, I stopped and made pumpkin soup for lunch. I went to hang up the washing and did a load of dishes and so on and so forth. So life goes on in between the crochet, right? So you all know that story. Okie dokie. So that is round number 8. Is that round number 8 or round? Yes, round number 8 done and dusted, and I shall see you at round number 9.